Discover the 7 signs. You're God's chosen one. Warning: what you're about to discover will shatter everything you thought you knew about your divine calling. If you're here, it's not by accident. The universe has guided you to this exact moment for a reason that will soon become clear. You've always sensed it, haven't you? That inexplicable feeling deep within your core that whispers, "You're different." That persistent knowing that your existence carries a weight others cannot comprehend. Today, that whisper becomes a revelation. Today, you will finally understand the profound truth about who you really are. You are one of the chosen ones. This isn't flattery. This isn't motivation. This is ancient spiritual truth manifesting in your reality right now. There exists a sacred marking upon your soul, an ethereal signature that separates you from the masses. But understand this clearly. Being chosen by the divine is not a path of ease or comfort. It is a journey through fires that would consume ordinary souls. It demands you carry illumination through valleys where darkness reigns supreme. What I'm about to reveal will fundamentally transform how you perceive your entire existence. 7 unmistakable signs prove beyond doubt that divine favor rests upon you, that you've been selected for a sacred mission that transcends this physical realm. These aren't mere coincidences or wishful thinking. They are the undeniable marks etched into the fabric of your being by forces beyond human comprehension. Before we unveil these 7 sacred signs, I need you to participate in something powerful. If your soul recognizes the truth already resonating within these words, if you feel the electric confirmation coursing through your spirit, comment 777 below immediately. This isn't arbitrary. The number carries frequencies that align with divine perfection, spiritual metamorphosis, and synchronization with celestial will. By declaring 777, you're acknowledging the sacred contract written upon your soul. You're stepping through the veil into your authentic identity. You're announcing to the universe that you're prepared for what lies ahead. Understand something crucial. Billions of souls inhabit this planet, yet only a microscopic fraction carry the chosen mark. The divine doesn't select carelessly. God's warriors, messengers, and vessels on earth are exceedingly rare. The mere fact that you're absorbing these words right now, that something inexplicable drew you here, confirms what you've always suspected deep within. Have you experienced that perpetual sensation of not belonging? That persistent feeling that no matter where you stand, you remain fundamentally different from those surrounding you? Have you endured relentless rejection, profound isolation, or spiritual onslaughts that seemed impossibly targeted? Have you noticed how certain individuals gravitate toward your presence while others recoil in inexplicable intimidation, despite your intentions? These aren't random occurrences. These are the manifestations of divine selection. God's favor cannot be concealed or suppressed. It radiates from your essence even when you attempt to dim it. The chosen carry an undeniable frequency, and this creates experiences that ordinary people will never encounter. Some manifestations arrive as beautiful blessings and synchronicities. Others manifest as excruciating trials and soul-testing challenges. But through every experience, one eternal truth persists. The divine hand guides your journey. This path wasn't designed for the weak. Being chosen means undergoing continuous testing, refinement, and transformation into the vessel God requires. It means experiencing both supernatural favor and spiritual warfare simultaneously. It means walking a road that others cannot fathom. But it also means your ultimate reward will eclipse anything this temporary world could ever offer. I know you've felt it. That magnetic pull, that persistent calling, that unshakable sense that your life holds meaning far beyond what you currently see. This isn't imagination or delusion. This is your soul remembering its contract with the divine. You were never designed to blend into the masses because you were born to illuminate the darkness. Some of you are struggling profoundly right now. You're navigating trials that feel unbearable. You're questioning why your existence has been saturated with obstacles and suffering. But hear this truth. Every single hardship you've endured has been preparing you for what approaches. God doesn't assign trivial battles to powerful warriors. The chosen ones face the most intense testing because the divine recognizes their true capacity. God knows their power. God knows that once they fully awaken to their purpose, nothing in this realm or beyond can obstruct their destiny. So if you've been feeling lost, questioning your purpose, wondering why your life diverges so dramatically from others, this is your confirmation. You're not lost. You're not abandoned. You're positioned exactly where you need to be. God has been revealing these signs throughout your entire journey, but now it's time to recognize them consciously. You're here for a reason that transcends human understanding. You must embrace your divine purpose because once you do, your reality will never be the same. The 7 signs I'm about to share aren't theories or possibilities. They are absolute spiritual truths that every chosen one experiences without exception. They are the proof that divine favor rests upon you, that you carry a sacred mission, that you're destined to rise. Pay absolute attention because these signs will reveal everything you need to know about your true identity. Are you ready? Are you ready to step into your calling? Are you ready to finally understand why you've always been different? Then let's begin this revelation. Sign 1. The Soul-Shattering Awakening. Every genuine chosen one undergoes a profound spiritual awakening that demolishes their previous reality. This isn't a gentle realization or pleasant epiphany. This is a complete disintegration and reconstruction of your soul. It's an experience that annihilates everything you thought you knew and forces you to perceive existence through entirely new eyes. This awakening isn't optional for the chosen. It's mandatory. It's the divine initiation into your authentic identity. Initially, it feels like your entire world is collapsing. Everything that once provided certainty suddenly becomes questionable. People you felt deeply connected with suddenly feel like strangers. Beliefs you held sacred for years begin crumbling into dust. This happens because God is stripping away illusion. The divine is demolishing everything false, everything temporary, everything that prevents you from accessing your true purpose. Many chosen ones experience profound isolation during this metamorphosis. You might feel like nobody comprehends what's happening to you. You might feel disconnected from friends, family, even society itself. But this isn't punishment or abandonment. This is divine strategy. God removes distractions so you can finally hear the whispers of truth. The divine separates you from the world's noise so you can see reality clearly. This awakening typically gets triggered by a catastrophic life event, a devastating betrayal, a profound loss, a sudden upheaval, an experience that forces you to question absolutely everything. It might feel agonizing initially. It might feel like you're losing yourself. But in truth, you're finding yourself, your real self, the version of you that God always intended. Once you awaken, there's no returning to the previous version of reality. You begin seeing through lies and illusions that previously remained invisible. You start recognizing the spiritual warfare occurring constantly in this world. You see things others cannot see, feel things others cannot feel, and comprehend things most people will never grasp. This is why many chosen ones struggle relating to others after their awakening. You attempt to share your experiences, but people look at you like you've lost your mind. You try to communicate your truth, but they dismiss it entirely. This happens because you're seeing through spiritual eyes while they're still perceiving through worldly filters. Not everyone is meant to awaken. Only the chosen. Your consciousness expands in ways previously unimaginable. You begin receiving what I call divine downloads. Messages from God, intuitive insights, prophetic dreams, and visions. Your ability to sense energy intensifies dramatically. You discern spirits. You know who carries authenticity, and who wears masks. You know who radiates light and who harbors darkness. This is the gift of spiritual sight, and it's one of the most powerful confirmations that you're chosen. But with this awakening comes immense responsibility. Once you know truth, you cannot pretend ignorance. You cannot conform to worldly patterns anymore. You feel a deep compulsion to separate yourself from anything that no longer serves your higher purpose. Toxic relationships, meaningless distractions, and low vibrational environments begin repelling you naturally. Initially, this might feel lonely. You might wonder why God is pulling you away from so many people and places. But trust this process completely. God isn't isolating you to hurt you. The divine is preparing you for your mission. God is resetting your mind, cleansing your spirit, and fortifying your soul so you can step fully into your purpose. Your awakening will also bring tests and challenges. The enemy doesn't want you awakening. This is why you must stay grounded in faith. The moment you awaken, your connection to God must become unshakable. Prayer, meditation, fasting, and seeking divine wisdom become essential practices. Your relationship with the divine must become stronger than ever, because the world will try pulling you back into illusion. Your awakening is a gift. It's the moment you truly come alive. It's the moment you step into your divine identity and embrace the power that has always resided within you. Not everyone will understand what you're experiencing, and that's perfectly fine. You weren't meant to follow crowds. You weren't meant to fit in. You were meant to lead. Sign 2. The pattern of divine rejection. One of the most undeniable signs marking you as chosen is rejection. You've experienced it for as long as memory serves. People turning against you, friends vanishing without explanation, family failing to understand you, society making you feel like a perpetual outsider. It may have confused you deeply. It may have triggered painful self-doubt, making you wonder what's wrong with you. But now you need to grasp the truth. It's happening because you're chosen. The world doesn't reject what it understands. The world doesn't push away what it accepts as its own. But you are not of this world. You belong to God. And because of that, people will always sense something different about you, something they cannot articulate or explain. From early childhood, you probably felt like you didn't fit in. Even when you attempted being like everyone else, something inside you refused to allow it. Maybe you were excluded from social circles, or overlooked for opportunities, or treated unfairly for inexplicable reasons. You may have been the black sheep in your family, the one who thought differently, acted differently, and perceived the world through a unique lens. This happens because chosen ones carry a different spirit. You don't blend into crowds because you were never meant to. When people encounter you, they feel your energy even if they don't understand it. Some are drawn toward it, but many are intimidated by it. Some people dislike you without even knowing why. Some feel uneasy around you, not because you've done anything wrong, but because your presence forces them to confront their own darkness. Many times, rejection doesn't come from strangers. It comes from those closest to you. Friends, family members, colleagues, people you thought would support you. Instead, they criticize you, doubt you, even betray you. They may not understand your spiritual journey. They may think you're strange, too deep, too serious, or too focused on things they cannot see. But you must remember this. Their rejection isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a sign of your calling. If this message resonates deep within your soul, if you're feeling the truth of these words, take a moment right now and subscribe to the Light of Wisdom. Hit that notification bell because this is just the beginning of your awakening, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Look at the lives of prophets, messengers, and great spiritual leaders throughout history. They were all rejected. They were misunderstood, persecuted, and ridiculed. Why? Because truth is rarely welcomed by the world. A chosen one doesn't speak to please crowds. A chosen one speaks to reveal truth. And truth makes people profoundly uncomfortable. The rejection you've faced isn't a curse. It's divine protection. God has allowed people to walk away from you because they were never meant to be part of your journey. If they couldn't recognize your value, they weren't meant to sit at your table. If they couldn't support your growth, they weren't assigned to your destiny. Every person who left was meant to leave. Every door that closed was meant to close. Rejection is God's way of removing what no longer serves you. It may hurt in the moment, but one day you'll look back and realize that every rejection was actually a blessing. It protected you from wrong people. It directed you toward your true purpose. It forced you to become stronger, wiser, and more independent. One of the hardest aspects of being chosen is walking alone. There will be seasons where it feels like nobody truly understands you. You'll crave deep connections, but find that most people cannot meet you at your level. This happens because your path is different. Most people focus on temporary things: money, status, approval from others. But you focus on truth, purpose, and divine alignment. Understand this clearly. Rejection is not personal, it's spiritual. When people mistreat you, it's not just them. It's the spirit within them that senses the anointing on your life. Darkness always resists light. That's why some people will hate you without reason, compete with you without cause, and attack you without warning. You must not allow rejection to make you bitter. Don't let the world harden your heart. Instead, use it as fuel for growth. Learn to be at peace with being misunderstood. Accept that not everyone will see what God sees in you. Accept that some people will try bringing you down simply because they cannot reach your level. But here's the secret. The right people will find you. The ones meant to walk this journey with you will recognize your energy. They will respect your calling. They will see the light within you and honor it, not try to dim it. So if you've been rejected, if you've been misunderstood, if you've felt like an outcast, do not be discouraged. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of favor. The world doesn't celebrate chosen ones. It tests them. It challenges them. It tries to break them. But those who endure, those who keep walking despite the rejection, are the ones who will rise. You were never meant to fit in. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were meant to stand apart, to lead, to shine. And those who reject you today will one day look back and realize they had a chosen one in their presence. The unshakable knowing of purpose. There exists something deep inside you that has never been able to rest. A feeling, a knowing, an unshakable sense that you're destined for something far greater than ordinary existence. While others move through life without questioning, without seeking, without wondering why they're here, you've always known that your life carries a higher purpose. You may not have always been able to articulate it. At times, it may have even felt frustrating. But one thing remains certain. You were never meant for an ordinary life. This is one of the clearest signs that you're a chosen one. You carry a divine assignment. You weren't placed here to simply exist, to follow society's predetermined path, or to live without direction. Your soul carries a mission from God, and that mission is imprinted in your spirit so deeply that you cannot ignore it. Even if you've tried to run from it, even if you've tried to fit into the world's expectations, something always pulls you back. You may have attempted following a path that seemed safe, that seemed logical, that everyone else was following. But eventually you always find yourself searching for more. This happens because your spirit refuses to settle for anything less than what it was created for. Many chosen ones experience restlessness because of this. While others are content with routine and comfort, you crave growth, transformation, and deeper meaning. You feel drawn to things that expand your mind, elevate your spirit, and challenge you to become the highest version of yourself. You're constantly seeking truth, wisdom, and divine knowledge because you know there's more to life than what meets the eye. This strong sense of purpose can feel like a burden at times. There may be moments when you feel overwhelmed by the weight of your calling. You may feel like you're being prepared for something, but don't yet know what it is. You may feel like you've been given a vision, but the path to achieving it remains unclear. But understand this: God never reveals everything at once. The divine gives you just enough to keep moving forward, just enough to test your faith, just enough to see if you'll trust the process. Every experience in your life, the struggles, the victories, the losses, the lessons, is shaping you for your divine assignment. Nothing is wasted. The pain you've endured, the hardships you've faced, the challenges that seemed unfair, they were all part of your preparation. Because when the time comes for you to step fully into your purpose, you will be ready. One of the most powerful aspects about a chosen one is that your purpose is bigger than you. It's not just about personal success, money, or status. It's about impact, influence, and divine service. You're called to uplift others, to inspire change, to bring light into dark places. Whether through your words, your work, your presence, or your energy, you're meant to touch lives in ways most people never will. But here's the truth. Not everyone will understand your purpose. People may tell you that you're thinking too big, that you're dreaming too high, that you should just settle for a normal life. They may try convincing you that your ambitions are unrealistic, that you're wasting your time, that you should be more like everyone else, but they don't see what you see. They don't feel what you feel. They don't carry what you carry. This is why many chosen ones walk alone for a season. God removes distractions, removes doubters, removes people who aren't aligned with your destiny so that you can hear divine guidance clearly, so that you can focus on what truly matters. There will be moments where your faith is tested, moments where the path ahead seems unclear, moments where you wonder if you're even on the right track. But deep down you will always know that you cannot turn back. Because once you've awakened to your purpose, there's no returning to a life of ignorance. Your purpose will continue calling you. It will not let you rest until you step into it fully. And when you finally do, when you finally embrace who you are and why you're here, your life will transform in ways you never imagined. Doors will open that you never expected. Opportunities will arrive that you never could have planned. Everything will begin to align, not because of luck, but because you're finally walking in divine alignment. Sign 4. The gift of piercing discernment. There's something about you that sets you fundamentally apart from others. You don't just see with your eyes. You see with your spirit. You don't just hear with your ears. You hear with your soul. You don't just understand things on the surface. You feel the truth deep within you. This is called spiritual discernment, and it's one of the strongest signs that you're a chosen one. Spiritual discernment is the ability to see beyond the physical realm. It's a heightened awareness, a deep inner knowing, a sense of understanding that most people don't possess. While others accept things at face value, you can sense what's really happening beneath the surface. You can feel people's true intentions. You can pick up on hidden energies. You can recognize when something isn't right, even if there's no physical proof. This isn't just intuition. This is a divine gift. God has given you a spiritual radar that alerts you when something is off. You may walk into a room and immediately feel the energy shift. You may meet someone new and instantly know whether they carry light or darkness. You may hear words that sound good on the surface, but deep inside you sense deception. Because of this gift, you've likely found yourself questioning things that others blindly accept. You don't follow the crowd because you can sense when something isn't right. You don't fall for lies because your spirit detects truth. You don't engage in meaningless distractions because your soul is focused on higher wisdom. This is why you may have noticed that certain people feel uncomfortable around you. Your presence alone can make people uneasy, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your discernment exposes things they'd rather keep hidden. A person who carries deception, jealousy, or ill intentions cannot hide from you for long. They may smile in your face, but your spirit senses what they truly feel. They may act like they support you, but deep down, you know the truth. At times, you may have doubted this gift. You may have ignored your instincts only to later realize that you were right all along. This happens because the world teaches people to rely only on what they can see, hear, and touch. But as a chosen one, You're called to walk by faith, not by sight. Your discernment doesn't come from you. It comes from God. It's the result of your deep spiritual connection, your alignment with divine truth, and your ability to stay rooted in wisdom. The closer you are to God, the sharper your discernment becomes. This is why prayer, fasting, and seeking divine wisdom are essential. The more you strengthen your spiritual connection, the clearer your vision will be. But with this gift comes great responsibility. You must learn how to use it wisely. Just because you can see through people doesn't mean you should always expose them. Just because you sense deception doesn't mean you should always confront it. Sometimes God reveals things to you not so you can react, but so you can be prepared. Not every battle needs to be fought. Sometimes the best response is to observe, stay silent, and allow God to handle it. At the same time, you must also protect your energy. When you have heightened discernment, you naturally attract both light and darkness. People with pure hearts will be drawn to you because they recognize your wisdom. But those with hidden agendas will also come near, hoping to manipulate, drain, or deceive you. You must be careful about who you allow into your space, because not everyone deserves access to your energy. Discernment isn't just about recognizing negative energy. It's also about recognizing divine opportunities. Because of your gift, you will often feel when God is leading you in a certain direction. You will receive spiritual nudges, intuitive insights, and divine confirmations that others may miss. You will feel when it's time to move, when it's time to wait, and when it's time to let go. This is one of the biggest advantages of being a chosen one. You're never truly lost because your spirit is always being guided. Sign 5. The Paradox of Blessing and Battle. One of the biggest confirmations that you're a chosen one is the extreme contrast in your life. You've experienced both incredible blessings and intense battles. It seems like every time you take a step forward, something tries pulling you 2 steps back. You receive breakthroughs, but they're often followed by trials. You get divine opportunities, but they come with opposition. This happens because God's favor attracts both light and darkness. As a chosen one, you carry a powerful anointing, and wherever there is great favor, there is also great resistance. The more you walk in your divine calling, the more the enemy will try to stop you. You are a threat to darkness, and that's why spiritual warfare surrounds you. Have you ever noticed that just when things start going well, a sudden attack comes out of nowhere? Maybe you got a promotion, but suddenly conflict arises in your workplace. Maybe you started a new business, but unexpected obstacles appeared. Maybe you stepped into a deeper spiritual connection with God, and then you started facing unusual challenges. This is not coincidence. This is spiritual warfare. The enemy doesn't attack those who are lost. He attacks those who are making progress. But here's the other side. You are also highly favored. No matter how many attacks come against you, you always find a way to rise. Even when people try to bring you down, God lifts you up. Even when situations seem impossible, doors open for you at the right moment. You are constantly protected, constantly guided, constantly blessed. Your life is proof of divine favor. Think about it. How many times have you faced situations that should have broken you, but somehow you made it through? How many times have you been surrounded by negativity, yet you remained strong? How many times have you been put in positions where others failed, yet you succeeded? That is God's hand over your life, but with this favor comes responsibility. You must understand that your blessings are not just for you. They're meant to serve a greater purpose. God has given you favor because you're meant to be a light in this world. You're meant to inspire, to uplift, to guide, and to lead. This is why you cannot afford to be careless with your energy. The enemy is always looking for a way to throw you off track. Spiritual warfare doesn't always come in obvious forms. Sometimes it comes through distractions, temptations, toxic relationships, or negative thoughts. The goal of the enemy is not just to hurt you, but to make you doubt yourself, to make you feel exhausted, to make you lose focus. Have you noticed that every time you're about to step into a new level, you face unexpected resistance? That's because you're close to a breakthrough. The enemy tries to make you give up right before your blessing arrives. This is why endurance is key. A chosen one must learn to keep going even when things get tough, to trust in God's plan even when the path is unclear, to remain unshaken even in the face of opposition. At times, you may wonder why your life has so many ups and downs. You may question why God allows you to go through so much when you're trying to do the right thing. But here's the truth. You are being strengthened. God doesn't give weak assignments to strong warriors. The divine allows chosen ones to go through battles because God knows they will come out victorious. Look at great figures in history, leaders, prophets, spiritual teachers. None of them had easy lives. They all faced opposition, betrayal, persecution, and hardships. But they also carried immense power, wisdom, and divine favor. Their struggles were not signs of weakness. They were signs of their calling. And it's the same for you. You must understand that the attacks are not happening because you're weak. They're happening because you're powerful. If you weren't a threat to darkness, the enemy would leave you alone. But because you carry God's light, because you're meant to create change, because you have a divine assignment, you will always face resistance. But here's what the enemy doesn't realize. Every attack against you only makes you stronger. Every obstacle only pushes you closer to your purpose. Every battle only deepens your faith. What was meant to break you actually builds you. What was meant to stop you actually prepares you. So if you feel like your life is full of both favor and warfare, do not be discouraged. Instead, recognize it as confirmation that you are truly chosen. You're not just living a normal life, you're walking a divine path. No weapon. Sign 6. The sacred connection to the divine. There's something inside you that always longs for God. No matter where life has taken you, no matter what you've been through, that connection has never truly faded. Even in your lowest moments, even when you felt lost, even when you questioned everything, you still felt God's presence. That is because you are chosen. A chosen one doesn't need to be convinced that God is real. You have experienced divine presence in ways that cannot be explained. You have seen signs, synchronicities, divine messages that confirm you're walking with the divine. This isn't just faith. It's knowing deep in your soul. You feel God's hand over your life, guiding you, protecting you, speaking to you. You may have noticed that your relationship with God has always been different. While others pray out of habit, you pray with deep intention. While others seek God only in times of trouble, you seek the divine daily, in every moment, in every decision. While others may doubt, you are constantly seeking wisdom, truth, and divine understanding. This connection is what makes you stand out. It's the reason why you cannot ignore spiritual matters. It's why you feel deeply connected to things beyond this physical world. It's why, while others chase after material success, your soul craves something higher, something eternal, something divine. Even in your darkest times, when you felt alone, when the world seemed against you, you could feel God whispering to your spirit, reminding you that the divine has never left. There were moments when you thought you would break, but somehow you found the strength to keep going. That wasn't your strength. It was God's strength within you. Have you ever noticed how your spirit picks up on things before they happen? How you feel when something is right or wrong even before you have all the facts? How you receive messages through dreams, sudden realizations, or deep inner knowing? That's because your connection to God is stronger than you realize. You have been given spiritual insight that most people don't have. You're able to see through deception, recognize hidden truths, and sense divine timing. This is not coincidence. This is a gift. God has placed divine wisdom within you because you're meant to lead, teach, and uplift others. But here's the thing. The closer you are to God, the more the world will try to pull you away. Distractions, temptations, negative influences, all of these things will try to weaken your connection. That's why the chosen ones must be vigilant, disciplined, and spiritually grounded. You may have gone through seasons where you felt disconnected from God. Maybe you experienced doubt. Maybe you felt abandoned. Maybe you wondered if the divine was really there. But even in those moments, God was still working in your life. Sometimes the divine allows us to walk through darkness not to punish us, but to strengthen our faith. Your connection to God is not based on religion. It's based on a direct relationship. While some people follow rituals without understanding, you have a personal bond with the divine. You talk to God like a friend, like a guide, like a father who truly knows you. And because of this, your spiritual path will always be different. There's a reason why you cannot tolerate certain environments, certain conversations, or certain energies. There's a reason why your soul rejects anything that's not aligned with truth. There's a reason why you feel drained when you're around people who don't carry light. It's because you're connected to a higher frequency. Your spirit is not meant to dwell in low places. This is why you must protect your connection. The world is full of noise, social media, distractions, worldly desires, all designed to weaken your spiritual focus. But as a chosen one, you must prioritize your relationship with God above all else. Because when you're aligned with the divine, everything in your life begins to flow. You don't have to force things. You don't have to chase after what's meant for you. When you're in divine alignment, opportunities come, doors open, and miracles happen effortlessly. Your connection to God is your greatest gift. It's the source of your power, your wisdom, your strength. So if you feel this deep connection, if you've always known that your life is guided by something greater, if you constantly seek truth, purpose, and divine wisdom, this is your confirmation. You are chosen. You are favored. You are walking with God. And as long as you stay connected, nothing can stop you. If you're resonating with these signs, if you're recognizing yourself in these truths, make sure you're subscribed to The Light of Wisdom. This journey of awakening is just beginning, and there's so much more divine knowledge waiting to be revealed to you. Sign 7. The undeniable magnetic presence. There's something about you that people cannot ignore. Even when you try to blend in, you stand out. Even when you stay silent, your presence speaks volumes. You carry an energy that is different, powerful, and deeply spiritual. This is one of the biggest signs that you're a chosen one. You don't just exist, you influence. Some people are naturally drawn to you. They feel inspired, uplifted, and motivated in your presence. They seek your wisdom, your advice, your perspective on life. Even strangers may feel comfortable opening up to you, sharing their deepest struggles as if they've known you forever. This is not coincidence. Your spirit carries a divine presence, a light that attracts those who seek truth and healing. But just as some people are drawn to you, others are deeply disturbed by you. Your presence makes them uncomfortable, even if you've done nothing to provoke them. You may have noticed that some people become defensive around you, try to challenge you for no reason, or simply dislike you without explanation. This happens because your energy exposes what they try to hide. The chosen ones don't just move through the world unnoticed. They create shifts wherever they go. When you enter a room, the atmosphere changes. When you speak, people listen, even those who pretend not to. When you walk into a situation, things begin to realign as if the spiritual realm itself recognizes your presence. You are not just another person. You are a force. This unique energy is not something you can control. It's something that comes with being chosen. It's the result of your spiritual connection, your divine calling, and the anointing that rests upon your life. You carry the presence of God, and people can feel it. Some people will admire you for it. They will see the light within you and feel hope, inspiration, and clarity. They will gravitate toward you because they sense that you carry something divine. They will be uplifted simply by being around you. This is one of your greatest gifts, but others will reject you because of it. They will feel threatened, exposed, and uneasy. They may try to tear you down, criticize you, or find faults in you that don't exist. This happens because your presence disrupts the illusions they live in. Darkness cannot stand in the presence of light without being exposed. You may have wondered why some people instantly dislike you without knowing you, why certain individuals feel the need to compete with you, undermine you, or discredit you even when you've done nothing but exist. This is spiritual warfare. It's not about you. It's about what you carry. There is power in your energy. There is divine authority in your presence. You don't need to announce who you are. Your spirit does that for you. This is why you must be mindful of your surroundings. Not everyone who is drawn to you has good intentions. Some people come close to steal your energy, to drain your light, or to disrupt your peace. As a chosen one, you must learn to protect your spirit. Not everyone deserves access to you. Your energy is sacred. It is powerful. It is not meant to be wasted on meaningless things or toxic environments. The more you grow spiritually, the more sensitive you will become to who and what deserves your presence. At times, you may feel misunderstood because of this. You may feel like you're too much for some people, or that your energy is too intense for certain spaces. Do not dim yourself to make others comfortable. Do not shrink yourself to fit into places that were never meant for you. You were designed to stand out, to lead, to inspire, to awaken. Your energy is meant to shake people, to make them think, to push them out of their comfort zones. Some will love you for it. Some will hate you for it. But none will be able to ignore you. That is the power of a chosen one. That is the power of your divine presence. And that is why you must embrace it fully. Because when you do, you step into the fullness of your calling. The awakening is complete. Now that you've heard these 7 signs, you may be realizing something profound deep within yourself. You are not ordinary. You never have been. Everything you have experienced, the rejection, the awakening, the spiritual battles, the unshakable connection to God, and the powerful energy you carry, has been proof of your divine calling. You are a chosen one. You were never meant to fit in with the world because you were called to rise above it. Your path has been different because your purpose is greater. The struggles you have endured have not been in vain. They have shaped you, strengthened you, and prepared you for what is coming. God has been guiding you all along. Even in moments when you felt lost, the divine was leading you. Even in times when you questioned your purpose, God was confirming it. Now the truth is clear. You were chosen for a reason. You were set apart to be a light in a world full of darkness, to bring truth where there is deception, and to lead where others are lost. But here's the thing. Knowing you are chosen is not enough. You must now walk in that calling. You must embrace your identity fully and stop doubting the power that God has placed within you. You must step boldly into your purpose without fear, without hesitation. Yes, the journey will still come with challenges. The enemy will still try to test you. People will still misunderstand you. But now you know the truth. And the truth is your power. The truth is what will set you free. If this message has resonated with you, if you feel deep in your soul that you are one of the chosen ones, comment 777 below right now. This is not just a number. It is a confirmation, a declaration that you recognize your calling, that you are ready to step into the path God has prepared for you. And if you are ready to fully embrace your purpose, if you want to continue receiving divine wisdom and guidance on this sacred journey, make sure to subscribe to the Light of Wisdom. Hit that notification bell because this is just the beginning. There is so much more to discover about your spiritual journey, and together we will uncover the deeper mysteries of your divine calling. Remember this: you were chosen for a reason. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are rising. And no matter what comes against you, God has already prepared the victory. Stay strong. Stay awakened. Stay chosen. The universe has been waiting for you to recognize who you truly are. Now that you know, everything changes. Your mission begins now. Walk boldly in your divine calling, and let your light illuminate every shadow you encounter. I'll see you in the next revelation. Until then, embrace your power, trust your journey, and never forget that you are one of God's chosen ones.